coming up on the Lead Ministry Podcast.
Dude, don't ignore the relational tension. You run straight to that conflict and you handle it.
Now your host, Josh Denhart.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Lead Ministry Podcast. Grateful that you're here. We pushed pause on last week's episode because we had 10 things that every team needs from their leader. But of course, Josh and Vance were just too windy. We had too many good insights, I would suppose, or Vance had good insights, and I was trying to be a keen listener. But guess what? We have the second 5. This is part 2 of 10 things that every team needs from their leader. Well, let's get right to it. Mr. Vance, grateful that you're here, buddy.
Hello. Great to be back. And I think it's pretty comical that you and I legitimately, we thought we can get through 10. We could do this. We can pack it in.
Can't happen.
It's not happening.
Yeah, early on in the last podcast, in the last episode, I was looking at the time and I was like doing some quick math, and I was like, Vance, there is no way. This is simply not going to. I was trying to do the calculation. It was going to be a no-go. But we're back now. I'm grateful. So the 10 things that a team needs. Your team isn't quitting the ministry. They're likely quitting you. They're quitting me. They're quitting us as leaders because we're not providing certain things for them. So I'm going to go a crash course through the first 5 as a review. Your team needs communication. If you've ever been at a church and you found out while sitting in the pew of a big initiative, you felt burned, right? We need to be communicating with our teams. The biggest frustration is a lack of communication. Well, another piece is community. Having people sitting next to one another that know one another, that like one another, and that have a common goal that's going to retain or keep them in the game. Well, the third one that you brought up, Vance, was change. Like, we are asking hard questions about the pain points that they might experience, and then you're following through and changing it. Am I right?
That's right.
Couldn't be better.
Give them the goods. Yep.
And then coaching, number 4, you have to have relationship, but if you can walk into somebody's life and give them some key tip, or you're present enough to watch this small blunder happen, and then you can give them a little bit of an idea of how to fix that, that causes people to want to stay with you and be retained. Finally, of course, last week we talked about you need to care. You need to be in their world, know their kids, know their husband, know their job, know that their grandma has just moved in with them for 4 weeks. That is knowing them on a personal level, but then it comes down to caring and knowing them on a professional level. What are the big pain points?
And it's genuine.
Not
mechanical. It comes from the heart and they know the difference.
And can I tell you something, Vance? I mean, haven't we all at times felt that I felt it from a ministry leader where I was like, yeah, I am a checklist for you. Yeah. You are, okay, this is a terrible story, but I'm going to tell it. And I hope it burns people as it burned me. There was a friend of mine, and he said, you want to know something that I, like, maybe every once in a while I like to do? And I was like, well, okay, whatever. And he goes, there's a leader at church who will remain nameless. And he goes, well, he told me who it was. And he said, I know that he wants to be like a really quick hummingbird and just touch. He really doesn't, when he's asking you how you're doing, he doesn't want to know.
Yeah.
When he's asking you, it's
greeting. How are you?
Yeah. Yep. And he's trying to just really quickly just have a quick thing. And then he's going to float onto somebody else. And so then he said, every once in a while, he goes, it's a little bit sinister. I'm being kind of a jerk, but like I will launch into a really big thing and make him stand there. And he goes, the anxiety that's coming over him because he doesn't want to be in this conversation. Well, here's the truth. Success in ministry isn't what you do today. It's about what happens if you weren't there tomorrow. The Lead Ministry membership is built to help you create that kind of lasting impact. Each month, we guide you through one essential area of ministry leadership: keeping volunteers, building teams, leading meetings, handling conflict, and so much more. every single month with podcasts, with courses, with webinars, and so many different extras and so many different downloads. You can have everything you need to build a ministry that stands strong. Start today and start your membership at leadministry.com.
People sense that.
People sense it.
Are you a hummingbird?
Are you like a bat? Because a bat sucks. Hummingbirds are cute, right? Are you a bat that's just flittering around and just moving like nobody wants
I thought you were going to say a bat because they just hang around. They're just there and they're just hanging.
Yeah, they're just hanging. Well, regardless, you gotta care. Well, Vance, take us into 6 through 10. Credibility we're talking about the 10 things that your team needs from you as a leader. And if you don't have these 10 things, the likelihood of them staying with you and you having a high retention factor is very, very, very low. So number 6 is credibility. You say authenticity earns trust. We kind of started to talk about that a little bit right now in a way.
We did. Yeah. And I think if anybody hasn't picked up on this, but these are all C's. And they're all going to be C's before we get to the end.
How pastoral of you, Vance.
That's right. You know what? If a seminary degree taught me anything, it's
seminary degree.
Alliteration.
Alliteration. What I've learned from you is that you are, and I mean this as the greatest compliment, you are kind of a walking thesaurus. You know that about yourself?
I love words, man. I love words and what it means. And
you're good.
I received that.
Yes, there have been times, but there have been times where I was in a national breakout. You were sitting right there in the front row, and I walked over, and then you showed me. You were like, "Hey, here are 4 I's that just capsulate." And I was like, "Oh my word, that's awesome!" So you are the guy.
We should do a podcast on that, Josh.
On the power of community, we'll do a podcast on those 4 I's coming up.
We will.
Yes, we will.
So credibility. This is beyond. So the authenticity, that you being you. But what this really is our gateway to trust. So trust is really the core of what we're wanting to get here. Now, how do you build trust? Credibility comes from consistent behavior over time. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to let my yes be yes, my no be no. If I say I'm going to do something, it better get done in the time that I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. That they can believe what I say, that this is my character.
This is the anti-flake. You're not a flake.
That's right.
I don't like flakes.
I can trust what you, not only do I believe you, that is your believability. I'm real and genuine, but I trust you. There is an authenticity because you've proven that your yes is a yes and your no is a no. And
you're going to pull it off.
It is. It's going to happen. Or if it doesn't, that there's a good reason why, and you've followed up. Because
and by the way, reputation is time plus consistency of any behavior. I want my reputation to be good, but I've earned it. Everybody out there on this podcast, you have a reputation. Vance, you have a reputation. Right. I have a reputation. And it's time plus consistency of whatever behavior that leads to your reputation. Well, the funny thing is, I had a guy, he does coaching with me. He's been with me for a number of years. He's a great guy. And he sent me something that needed to be done. There was some glitch on the website. And I said, I'm on it right now. And I solved it very quickly. But in the 6 minutes that it took me to solve, he wrote me back and he said, what a good leadership trait. When I tell you something and you actually get to it almost immediately. And that is a trait that I seek to have. Like, get her done. Don't have it be 18, hours, 18 weeks. Ain't nobody got time for that. You need to have credibility because, as you said, it leads to trust.
You can be the friendliest butterfly in the world. But if you don't have follow through to come behind it, that syrup, that honey only lasts for so long. Over time, they're going to go, all that talk that is great.
I got to tell you, man, it's so sad that as you were explaining what you just said, that the honey and the great words with zero follow through, a person came to my mind. And I don't want to be the person that comes to somebody else's mind where they're like, means well, but can't trust him to really, he doesn't really mean it, because pulling it off means you really mean it, I think.
That's right. Yep.
Okay. Well, credibility, that's number 6. Number 7. I think I've missed, I doubled it up maybe. We'll see how. We got conclusions. We're missing a 7. It might be that I have 2. Let's look forward here. I've got.
It is.
It's conclusions. Even though it says number 8, this is number 7. Conclusions. Number 7. So it's decisiveness that builds confidence. Tell me more.
Yeah. So one of the things my dad used to drive him nuts when he was in ministry. And I don't know if he coined this term, but I've heard it used a lot since, so I don't think he did. But I heard it from my dad, and it was really where it's analysis paralysis.
Ooh.
And that often some of us, typically we are on one end of a spectrum.
Yes.
We either make choices and decisions hastily, or take too long in making a decision until it's too late. And so what our team needs from us is, okay, after all the things that we've just talked about, we've been in their lives, we know the problems. Now somebody's got to make a decision. What is the decision going to be? And are your people waiting for you? How many times, Josh, you've been on a staff team where you're going, this is not a hard decision, but we're making it a hard decision. These are the facts. This is what has to be done.
Pull the trigger. Now, and then watch this. And here's what's so painful, because everybody in the organization is now on hold until that one leader finally just pulls the trigger. Drives me crazy.
So think about this, and this is what gets to the core of this, is why do we often hesitate to make those decisions? It's because making this decision affects someone negatively. There is a pain point with every decision. And so what we're doing when we delay the decision that's either going to cause me pain or that person over there pain, we are pushing the pain onto our team.
Pain is still happening. That's the key thing. Everybody in podcast land, pain is still being experienced, but it's by your team, because you're not wanting pain on somebody else down the pipe.
Or you're not willing to take the hit for the team because it's going to make this person mad, or afraid how they might react. And so you're vacillating. And so when you do that, you are asking it's like, I'm carrying this heavy load, and instead of me I'm just going to hand it off, and now you get to carry this.
Terrible.
It's making the decision and being decisive. When we do that, it builds confidence to know I have a leader that when there's a solution, when there's a decision to be made, they're going to make the decision in the right timing, in the right order, in the right manner. This isn't just about making quick decisions.
No,
it's making the right decisions at the right time. Because you can make a decision and it be wrong and erode confidence.
I would agree with that.
It's knowing when is that point of, okay, we need to hold, we need more information. We need to okay, now I have all of the data points, and as the leader, I'm making the hard decision.
Pull the trigger.
When you do before or after, that erodes confidence.
It does. Now, Vance, I got to ask. Well, I'll say this first. As you were talking about this, it came to my mind that there are really two people as it relates to decision making. On one hand, we've got it's all about pulling the trigger. It's ready, aim, and then maybe fire. And so that is the person who's putting it off for infinity. And then we have somebody the other perspective or the other spectrum of things. It's ready, fire. Oh, forgot to aim yet again.
Right. Yes.
And so I'll say this, that I'm going to be honest with you. I have over the years had a tendency in my younger years to be a ready, fire, aim person.
Yep. Me too.
Okay.
Me too.
However, I have to say that I have learned, I got a few more gray hairs. I'm a little bit more discerning, but I still err on the side of making quick decisions. And here's why. Elon Musk, whether you love him or whether you hate him, he says, and he's one of the greatest engineers of our time because his motto is fail fast. Fail fast and then correct it and then make an adjustment and then fail fast again. As opposed to sit on your haunches and wait for infinity until you are obsessively stewing over this. And again, it's paralysis by analysis and just all in gridlock. And then the organization, people are literally, they're like, dude, I am so done with you. And they want to leave your side. So fail fast. Right. Fail fast. That's what I think.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
Be decisive. Be decisive. Okay. So number 8, by the way, did you see, Vance, that
I saw you change that in real time. I did. I saw it.
Let's go. Impressive. So number 7 actually appeared for those on YouTube. Okay. Number 8, conflict management. Healthy teams deal with dirt.
Yeah. So this is
a good one.
And we'll talk about this in other podcasts as well. But dirt is actually, I'm referring to an acronym that I had one of my pastors introduced me to, and it's don't ignore relational tension.
Ooh.
Don't ignore relational tension. And so often that's the first hint of conflict, is that there is
a palpable sense, right?
That's right. And we'll do a whole podcast on conflict, and I think it'll be really helpful. But this is that when you get that sense, you know that person that when you see them on the other side of the hall or the other side of the lobby, suddenly you remember, oh, I think I forgot something in my office, and maybe I'll head this direction. There's this avoidance of them. Whenever you feel that, run to the pain. That means that's the dude. Don't ignore the relational tension. You run straight to that conflict and you handle it. As a leader, this is conflict with you, but this is also with conflict within the conflict management within the team.
Yeah,
it's recognizing and seeing that there's going to be butting of heads. There's going to be different opinions, different values, different perspectives, and for you to step in and help mitigate that and bring resolution. We're not trying to avoid conflict because there is good conflict. Conflict is where we get some of the best out of us. And so what a leader does and what a team needs from you is knowing what level of conflict is healthy. And then when does this verge into, well, that's hurtful. This is dysfunctional and this needs to stop. And so it's really about, that's why I use that management. It's conflict management. It's not conflict obliteration. It's conflict management. Conflict will be present, and there is a healthy level of conflict that is good, that spur us on, that push us to be better, that because we're all different. God made us that way. But when there becomes, as the leader, where there's that relational tension, we got to deal with it. We got to move to, we got to run to the pain.
And you have to be emotionally aware to look around at your team and go, okay, there's a little tension between these two people. I'm going to keep my eye on that. Yeah. Or, and I do have a high sense of emotional awareness to go, okay, it might be at a 0.2, not even at a 1, not even at a level 5, but there's some weird thing between me and that person, and I'm going to keep an eye on it, and I'm going to move toward that. I remember one time we made a big decision at the church, and it was very complicated, and there were some people that were upset, and I remember walking up to a lady on a Sunday morning, and she said, "I'm the last person you want to see on a Sunday morning." And I said, "Actually, you're actually the most important person that I want to see. Yeah. I want to hear exactly what's upsetting to you." And my idea is and this is a little bit dangerous and this can burn you, so be careful with this particular analogy, but I want to move toward the barking dog.
That's right. Absolutely. I think that's the do it in this one is, okay, take stock, and who is it that you feel relational tension with, and go address it. Go deal with it. Or who in your team you see the relational tension.
Yes. Now, you don't need to be have you ever been around somebody, Vance, who is just always paranoid that somebody, are you upset with me?
Did I upset you?
No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about being an actual functioning, mature adult and checking in and doing a mental checklist. How might I have let them down? How am I kind of rolling this? And then rectifying it, but don't run from it. I've watched so many leaders run from conflict.
Often what we do as humans, we subconsciously, we are tracking all of those interactions with this person. And over time, we go, okay, well, you know what? They kind of gave me the cold shoulder. They normally smile more at me.
Yes.
And then now you begin to build this, well, they probably are mad about this and they're mad about that. And then if you go and say, hey, how are you doing? And you find out, well, my mom is in the hospital and they're going, and you, oh my good. And I've just built this is what the enemy does.
Yes.
I've built this whole narrative in my mind of this huge conflict where they're just mad at me and they're not happy with me, when all along they needed you to just, they need some love. They're going through something.
Yes.
They're
So
not themselves.
There's two principles here. Number one, the issue is often not the issue. Right? Rarely is. And number two, paranoia will destroy you. Don't be so paranoid out there, leader. Okay. We're talking about the 10 things that every team needs from their leader. And number 9 is celebration. What you celebrate, you cultivate. Give it to us.
So this is the cheerleader part. This is where we're seeing something. This is the behavior that we want. We want to elevate this. There's multiple ways to do this. There is the direct way that I can say, what you did, that was awesome. You did this amazing. So that's direct. Then there's also the indirect, where I go, Josh, did you see what Todd did with his small group? I'm telling you, I was over there, and the way that he handled this situation, or the way he engaged his boys in his small group, it was amazing. So what that indirect celebration is I'm telling you, Josh, I'm setting the bar. Todd is amazing, and I'm celebrating him, but simultaneously, what am I doing?
Seeding.
I'm cultivating, and I'm telling you, I'm elevating. This is the behavior that I'm expecting and what I'm looking for, without even telling you, Josh, at all what my expectations are for you. I'm celebrating something, and that is cultivating that in our culture. And then there's the group celebration, where I'm in a huddle,
the big macro shout out.
You guys will not believe what I saw. I know that's that phrase is one of the most powerful phrases I've ever learned. You won't believe. This is, and I think for you to always, as a leader, to be looking for, and here's your do it. Do not let a weekend go by that you don't capture a story. To see something, find somebody, whether it's God in action, life transformation, a volunteer doing something good, and that you capture that so that you can celebrate it. And I think also as a leader, getting one of those, we know we all have these. There are these celebration stories to have in your back pocket. You get one and you use that thing over and over and over again. But this is what your team needs from you. When you are celebrating, people normally their behaviors will respond to the questions you ask, because that's how they know what is important to you, and what you celebrate, what you praise. That's what people will chase after.
I'll say this. Simply put, people move toward the applause.
Absolutely.
People move towards applause. And so what are you applauding? And by I like what you just did there, Vance, especially the indirect, because when I'm applauding somebody else, it's like what they say, right? Everything you ever needed to know, you learned in kindergarten, where it's like, remember, it was like, the teacher's like, hey, everybody, Bobby is sitting really
Right.
good. And everybody's like, what the heck is Bobby doing? Okay. I want to get the kudos from the teacher. I want to get the little micro endorphin rush from the teacher. I'm going to sit oh, look, everybody, Josh is sitting good. So whatever you learned in kindergarten, that's what you need to know in life, right? So people move toward the applause. Well, number 10, we're here, Vance. Character. Be the model you want mirrored. Take it home.
Yeah. This is, I think Jim Weidman, he used to say, he probably still does say this, but he would say, I'm not going to ask my team to do anything that I'm not willing to do. But the truth is, there's just about nothing that I'm not willing to do.
I can hear him saying
it. Yeah. And so I think this comes down to, are you the person? Are you the Christ follower that you want others to be? Is there discrepancy in your private life and your public life? This is the thing that your team needs from you. There are stories that come out, it seems weekly. There's another story that came out this week of a Christian leader where their influence was ruined, not because of their poor leadership, not because of anything they've done in the function of their role, but because of their character.
Well, you know what they say, right? Paul said these words, follow me as I follow Christ. That is a bold thing to say. Vance, years and years ago, I was teaching high school chemistry, and I've said before, I'll say it again, that I kind of was a youth group leader in disguise. I was seeking to reach the masses through the vehicle of chemistry. That's fine. But one week I was kind of, challenging kids with that somebody is probably following you. And I said, but let's just ask, what if you woke up tomorrow and the entire world were following you? And I said, where would you be leading them? Of course, there was a young lady sitting in the third row off to the right, and she said, to the mall. If you woke up tomorrow, where would they be? She said the mall. I thought that was funny. But at the end of the day, that's a real question, right? Follow me as I follow Christ. Would I be willing to allow others to follow me? And your character is critical. It's bigger than your character's bigger than your charisma.
That's right. Be the model you want mirrored. Live that out. Be authentic, and not just your care for people, but your love for Christ, and let that be the source. Let that be. This is the character of Christ is the fruit of the Spirit in us.
That's right.
And what happens, here's where often this happens and what your team will see in you. Where do we see when ministry squeezes us, when life squeezes us, when we go through really difficult circumstances, our character is what is excreted out.
Well, what they say, right? That you don't know what's inside of a tea bag until you put it in hot water.
That's right. Yeah. And so is what is squeezed out of you, is it the fruit of the Spirit or is it fruit of the flesh?
That's right.
And this is what your team needs, because you are going to be under pressure.
That's right.
All the time. There's going to be pressure coming out of you. And your character, good or bad, because character, character is not inherently a good thing or a bad thing. Your character is what this is. You have
it's like
your character.
You already are these things, and circumstances cause it to be revealed.
That's right. The discrepancy. God loves you enough to bring alignment to your private life and your public life.
Amen.
What is in you, because God cares more about your character than your comfort. So he's going to allow circumstances, whether it's in ministry and in life, to realign you and push your character more towards refining it to be more and more like
that's
him.
What your team needs. And they need to see you in that process, because you're not Jesus. I'm not Jesus. We're not perfect. No. And so we're going to be working out our salvation with fear and trembling. And your team needs to see you work that out in a healthy way.
The best way, if you're going to do it for this, the best way to model this is to admit you're wrong. Mm-hmm. Find a place where, if you want to be an example of character, mm-hmm. it's admitting your mistakes. Your team has a front row seat.
They already know.
You're not hiding anything.
No. That's right.
They know your shortcomings. They know what you're not good at. They know your strengths. So you may as well own it. So what character does is saying, yes, this is my personality shortcoming, and I'm going to own that. I'm working on that. I need your help with this.
I botched it here. That speaks so much volume, doesn't it?
They know it. And when you do the opposite of that, when you have really that low self-esteem, and you're afraid for people to see the real mm-hmm. you want to dodge, and you become you're this false mask that you're wearing. People know when you are wearing that false. They know the true you, so you may as well take off the mask mm-hmm. and say, "Yep, this is the real me. I'm going to own it." That's how they see true and good character. And
that's modeled. They want to be around that. They want to serve with people that are like that. Vance, this has been good stuff, man. Thank you for leading us through 10 things, though it took 2 weeks because we're good like that. But 10 things that every team needs from their leader. Well, gang, we're grateful that you guys are here. Thank you so much. Stick with us. We got great things to come. We want you to retain your volunteers. So stick with us. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of Lead Ministry Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and visit leadvolunteers.com for more episodes and resources. Thanks for listening.